with around only 10 matches remaining in the MLS season and playoff races heating up. Many of the signings from the summer window which closed last week had already entered the fray. Last weekend, we saw 9 summer acquisitions make their debuts. The results were mixed, but mostly positive. Here's how they fared. Followed by the 5 newcomers we're looking forward to watching in week 24: with his quality and comfort on the ball, intelligent positioning, and defensive work rate. The Peruvian was Orlando's best player in the team's 3-1 loss away to the New York Red Bulls. And Red Bull Arena isn't an easy place to make a good first impression. He did, like the rest of the Lions, fizzle out a bit in the second half. He should have had a goal late in the game, but hit the crossbar instead. It must have been a bit of a frustrating debut for the U.S. international, and not just because of the loss. DC United is a team that still lacks attacking organization, and players like Luciano Acosta and Nick DeLeon at times overcomplicate plays. That made it difficult for Areola to show all of his qualities right away. Still, you can immediately tell from his nifty touches, passes and flicks, and tireless defensive work that DC had themselves a strong player. He only came off the bench against San Jose and he struggled to find the rhythm of the game a little bit. Clearly still missing some match fitness, but in the 28 minutes he played, Thomas Martinez still impressed. His vision and passing was excellent. His close control was superb. His ability with both feet and his touch on the ball were high quality. He might need to add a little more muscle, but he looks like the type of silky, creative player you want to give the ball to in tight spaces in the final third. It's probably not a coincidence that the Impact's best performance of the season, a sudden and dramatic improvement from their previous games, arrived with the first start of local boy and Canadian international Samuel Piette. For the most part, the Impact had either had 2 kinds of midfielders, ones who are good at passing but bad at defending, or ones who are okay at defending, but not great at passing. As shown against Philadelphia, Piette is good at both. Another novelty for the Impact, he's a central midfielder who's both capable and not over 30. He's just 20 to right parenthesis. The 30-year-old midfielder began his second stint with the Seattle Sounders as a stoppage time substitute in Saturday's 1-0 home win over Sporting KC, receiving a warm ovation from the crowd. Given the team's wealth of attacking options, we can expect the Tacoma native to likely fill that role of reliable super sub. Fran Boy's a Folter, San Jose Earthquakes right parenthesis. It wasn't the best debut for a Folter, but it's also understandable. While his experience, positioning and overall interpretation of attacking situations is evidently high caliber, there were communication issues with his new teammates. Once he's more familiar with them and the rest of the league, he'll be expected to do better than he did on the first Houston goal, which required some more aggressive one-on-one marking on the corner. In a 1-0 loss away to the New England Revolution, Vancouver's Marino Vi was helpless in goal on the home side's winning strike, when New England's Kellen Rowe took advantage of poor positioning from the Vancouver backline with an outstanding early cross. Other than that, the Revs didn't create very much in the game, and the New Zealand shot stopper had little to do. Coming on for the last 19 minutes at home against Real Salt Lake, a disappointing 1-0 loss for DC United. The 19-year-old didn't get a ton of touches on the ball, but he didn't look out of place either, with Desorn Brown out indefinitely with a concussion, and Patrick Mullins serving in more of a hold-up role. Miranda is an intriguing option at center forward. DC needs someone who can stretch the field, and the Bolivian international seems to have some intriguing physical and technical abilities. He's a real talent, DC coach Ben Olsen said Tuesday. He's an exciting piece. James Muzot, Sporting Kansas City right parenthesis signed from USL affiliate Swope Park Rangers. Muzot had a very good MLS debut, playing in front of the back four. He was conservative with his passing, mostly keeping things simple. Sometimes he needed to be closer and more connected to Sporting's attacks, but his defensive positioning was very good, especially when it came to filling gaps in defense and clearing away aerial balls. Center back might yet prove to be his best position. We still haven't seen all of the newcomers from the summer window. Here are the 5 players that I'm most looking forward to watching in action, and who could get some minutes this weekend. After the news on Tuesday that Macias Laba will be out for the season with an ACL injury, Ghazal looks like an inspired acquisition. The defensive-minded midfielder, who can also play at center back, didn't enjoy the best of times in China with Guizhou Zhicheng, and he'll compete with Andrew Jacobson and Russell Tybert for Laba's open spot. Having Ali softens the blow a little bit of losing Laba. Robinson said, "I won't rush him. We have 12 games to go. It's important he's fit when he plays. D.C. S attack is crying out for a player who combines quality and experience. That's where the 28-year-old Zoltan Steiber comes in. The trio of Steiber, Acosta, 23 years old, and Areola, 22 years old, will likely form starting attacking midfield trio for DC going forward, though Stiber is reportedly waiting on a work visa. Acosta and Areola should really benefit from someone who can do a lot of the simple things right. Christian Namath, New England Revolution right parenthesis Namath says he can be better than he was at Sporting Kansas City in 2015. I'm not sure if he will be. But you've got to like the confidence. He's still only 28. So he should have some very good years left. It felt like New England had more pressing needs. And I don't know exactly how they're going to line up with Namath, or more precisely, who sits out. But he does bring a different set of skills. He says he needs a few weeks to be 100%. But until that I'm going to be available, and if the coach wants me to play I'm going to be ready. Double quote. He didn't appear against Sporting Kansas City on Saturday. But Victor Rodriguez was on the bench. You'd expect him to probably get his first minutes against Minnesota on Sunday at CenturyLink Field, 9:30 p.m. at Vertical Line FS1. MLS live in Canada. An attacking midfield trio of Rodriguez, Clint Dempsey, and Nicholas Lodero, coupled with one of Jordan Morris or Will Bruin at center forward, could be overwhelming for the Loons, who recently lost 4-0 at home to the Sounders on August 5. Pedro Santos, Columbus Crew SC right parenthesis Crew SC should have the visa paperwork squared away this week, in time for Pedro Santos to get his first minutes this Saturday in Orlando, 7:30 p.m. at Vertical Line MLS live. With Orlando City desperate for 3 points, the Portuguese winger could find a lot of joy on the right-hand side against Orlando left-back Donny Toia, especially if the Lions are forced to chase the match.